So, hi Stan, thank you so much for joining me for this interview today.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for inviting me. Hi guys, my name is Stoyan. My real name is Stoyan. Everybody calls me Stan. It's shorter and easier to pronounce. We did some jobs like leaflets, like business cards. It didn't go well, honestly. Like 1 year after, I established another business, completely different than this one, real estate business in Bulgaria. So I needed to go back in Bulgaria and deal with this business. It takes me like 6-7 years doing this business in Bulgaria. And after the financial crisis, Lehman Brothers, 2008-9, the situation was getting worse and worse in terms of the customers. Basically the thing, it was the end of the business, like 2013. I decided to come back here in the UK, where I belong. And I was coming with the idea, my initial idea of the rubbish removal service, providing rubbish removal, man and van service, sending guys there and providing the complete service, hassle-free service, as hassle-free as possible to the customer. And then I took it very seriously this time. We bought a domain name. We thought about the name Snappy. Snappy was very nice.
How did you come up with the name?
Honestly, I can't say. Like snap your fingers, you know. I needed to provide hassle-free service. To do that, I needed to do that service like this. Snap your finger and your rubbish will be gone. And it's gone.
That's what people want to have, right? They're like, I just want it to disappear like that.
Yeah, exactly. And then when we made a website with the domain name Snappy Rubbish Removals, we uploaded the website and started at least trying to advertise the website. Initially first in AdWords, and then I met Fernando, and this guy just helped me to do everything I'm at the moment, in terms of the advertising, the Google and everything. What can I say? 1 year after we were on the very top of Google, the results were 89 million results. When you type rubbish removal, Snappy was #1. You can't possibly imagine how much work it brings you. It's just.
So how did you cope with that? So suddenly. So you
slowly, step after step.
So you build more, you got more staff and more vans, or
we had one van, then we bought another one and another one, and we have people from different backgrounds, like Bulgaria, different nationalities, and we started like this slowly, very slowly. I think it's not very wise to hire 20 people at once, and then because the work were coming slowly, all the jobs were coming slowly. So
and it's I guess also about building relationships, isn't it? Because now obviously you have big brands in your books, you know, like McDonald's and Waitrose, but I guess that took time to build the trust as well. And
with the time they approached us, it's not a big jobs. They needed a small jobs, like one pile of rubbish. They needed to clear a kitchen or storage unit or something like that. There are so many of them we provided a service to. EasyJet, McDonald's, Disney, so many of them. They're like, you know, they got in touch with their emails like smith@disney.com. And this was interesting. I was amazed to see. They at some point they all need one thing to clear what they don't need.
Exactly.
What
so
they don't need.
No matter if you are just a homeowner or if you are a big business, everybody has rubbish.
Everybody generates rubbish at some point.
Exactly. So, well, that's a really interesting story, how it all started and then how it grew. And as you said, what was really important was that the website was actually visible on search engines.
That's the most important thing, really, because well, you know, the business is not that difficult to be done as long as you know the process. But to advertise, this is the most difficult.
Yeah, I understand. So, would you say now, you know, having gone through the whole journey, what would you say if you would go back again to 2013? Would you make anything? Would you do anything differently, or would you do it exactly the same way?
That's a tough question. I think I've done everything perfectly, but probably I made some mistakes as well. I could force the advertising. For example, branding the at the very beginning we didn't brand the vans. We didn't have any phone numbers, any logos, any brand on the vans itself. That's a good advertising as well, because they're driving all around the town providing this kind of service, and people can take the number directly from the van. This is small things which helps growing the business. We didn't do that at the very beginning. I could do it if I can go back.
Okay, so that would be a tip that you would give somebody starting, for example. That would definitely be something. Okay, that's good to know. And the other question I wanted to ask you is, so obviously you're operating in London. It's a big city, it's an expensive city. And in your interview with us, in the written interview, we talked a bit about the fines as well in London for waste, you know, for fly tipping and for dropping waste. And I think you brought up a very important thing, which is that people sadly don't value rubbish removal because people think they can just throw the rubbish somewhere and it will just be resolved. But obviously that is not the case, and especially in London now there are big fines on you know, fly tipping and waste crime and things like that. So what's your kind of what would you like to say to people who don't value waste removal, and why is it important to have it removed by professionals like you? Because you know, is it difficult? What are the challenges, and why should they use a professional rubbish?
Apart from the environment, which is extremely important, everybody is talking about protecting the environment. This fly tipping is absolutely against this, if I can say that. I've seen many ugly views fly tipping, and the strange thing is they don't do fly tipping in central London because there's so many cameras and they can be caught on the camera. They do that where it's the most beautiful regions in the country. There are no cameras. They're just green trees and fields, and they go there and fly tipping to avoid charges to dispose the rubbish properly, which leads to air pollution, disease, even people's disease and everything there. I've seen so many piles like this. It's like they throw car tires and everything there. That doesn't help the environment at all. We're talking about so many things we take to protect the environment, but this is at the very basic level we need to start from. Very basic level, because what's the point to put some filters in the big plants if you at the same time fly tip on the ground, on the very ground. The fines you mentioned, they're big. I've seen one for 50,000 pounds for fly tipping. They're designed to protect really all these, to prevent fly tipping. Unfortunately, if you have a place where you have cameras and people around, fly tipping is not very likely to happen. But outside the town, there are so many places you can fly tip without any problems. Which don't really, I've seen how councils fight against this. I've cleared fly tipping so many times. The councils approached us.
So they approached
of course. We provide. Can you do a free quote? We had a case of fly tipping over there. For example, Grace or whatever.
Yeah.
And we go there, provide a free quote, and if they accept the quote, we clear the rubbish. But it's difficult. I don't know how we can fight successfully 100% against this, because it's probably impossible. There will always be people who will do it to avoid simply the cost of the rubbish removal. You know why? Because when they go to provide a quote to the customer, the people are not willing to spend much money for the rubbish removal. That's the main thing. And when they're trying to lower the price for the rubbish removal, they help for fly tipping, because the company who basically takes the rubbish, they think like this: okay, he pays for a full load of the van £200 in case the full load is £300 or £400 normal price. Okay, they pay us less just to do the job. We're gonna accept the rubbish, but we're gonna go and fly tip it, so we're not gonna have any expenses. So we can make some profit. That's the pity thing.
That's terrible. And I think what's really important, just to what you have pointed out, is that you are actually creating more harm than good by just fly tipping. So even if you think, oh, why should I pay for having my rubbish removed? Well, it's very easy. You don't want to pollute your own environment where you live, where maybe your children live, where your family live, right?
Absolutely.
Because what people don't see, I guess, is the long-term effect, which is far more costly than having it removed by you. You pay a few £100s to have it removed, but in the long term, the pollution creates, we see it with the water companies, for example. What the water is polluted, then we see it in the soil, everything is polluted. To clear that up will cost the council so much money, which we then have to pay again with the council tax. So it's, it's really sad that people don't see the value of rubbish removal.
Yes. Well, fly tipping basically is moving a pile of rubbish from one place to another. But this one place is a customer place. Another place is for all of us. We are driving and seeing the fly tipping left or right.
And especially if it's hazardous waste, for example. Because I saw...
don't mention it.
It's terrible.
It's absolutely terrible.
I sometimes follow news.
Asbestos, for example. They throw asbestos outside the town where they find a suitable place, which is terrible because it's toxic.
It's toxic.
It's toxic.
Exactly.
Leads to cancer and
exactly, you say it. So the implications for everyone in the community are far worse if somebody doesn't remove it professionally, because you would obviously know how to remove asbestos safely so that nobody is endangered, and you would know where to bring it and where to dispose of it in a professional manner, because you have to have the certificates and everything that you need.
You have to have certificates, insurance. You have to. The people who book a rubbish removal first need to make sure that they know who they booked with.
Of course.
Because I've seen many people who don't remember the name of the company who did the rubbish removal. Therefore, they can't explain to the council who was the fly tipping company, because they don't remember the name of the company. They just type rubbish removal, find someone in Google, and then they don't recall.
So how could people, if they Google, and they find Snappy Rubbish Removal, how would they know that you are, who you say you are? Is there a way that they can see, okay, you have certifications and you
on the website we displayed always up-to-date waste certificate, waste carrier certificate. We provide, if we ask, we provide insurance. We're brand, we have an address there, we have telephones, registered business, registered company name in company's house. We're absolutely legal company. Legal company.
I think that's what's really important for people to know, because you know it yourself. When you Google businesses, sometimes it's really difficult to know which ones are the ones that we can really trust and which ones we can't trust. So I would say, if you go to your website, for example, Snappy Rubbish Removals, then people will definitely see your certifications on there, that you are regularly, I think with the environmental agency.
That's correct. Yes,
you are.
It's called waste certificate, waste carrier certificate.
Yes,
waste
exactly.
carrier certificate.
Yeah. So that's really important to look out for, isn't it?
What they do with this waste certificate, they register you as a company, and they know that you are responsible for what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah, and that's really important to know.
And I think, and by the way, let me just put it like this: most of the companies in Google, they're legal companies.
Yeah.
Because they're spending so much money for advertising, they can't afford themselves to be not legal. But fly tipping happens when you have a pile of rubbish outside your house, and someone is just passing by, offering you to take your rubbish. This one is completely unknown to you. He's got a van, okay, coming to your place and say, okay, we can take this rubbish for £100. You're amazed because all the companies you approached so far provided a price 360. He said, I can take it for 100. Oh, please, go ahead.
Yeah. And
they just take it and tip it around the corner.
Yeah. So another thing that I think stands out about Snappy Rubbish Removals is the process that you have established to remove the rubbish, because as you said, you wanted it to be fast, you wanted it to be easy for people so that they have less hassle. So can you tell us a bit more about why your service, if somebody books your service, why it's really fast and why it's the most effective one to remove rubbish?
We have time response 1 hour, less than 1 hour. This is because we always have van in every area in London. We have 10 vans and they are driving, doing jobs. And if someone needs us urgently, it's very likely to have a van around his place, basically. So we go directly to him. I've seen amazed people who book us and say, listen, I haven't.
But I'm not ready.
I haven't finished the conversation.
Oh, wow.
You're ringing the bell. Then what was the other question? I just
no problem. So I think you have a tip or a place where you can take it quickly to.
We have tipping yard. We rented a yard, yes. And the idea for this tipping yard is we designed it to go with the customer's rubbish there. We tip the rubbish, and which is extremely important, which is take us apart from most of the other companies, how we dispose the rubbish. We don't go directly to the recycle center because that's not, from my experience, that's not the right way to do this business. And more important, it costs more money, believe it or not. So we go there, we separate the rubbish, woods, metal, paper, plastic, food, everything is got separated, okay? And then we dispose every one type rubbish to the designated recycle center. For example, here we have Hatfield, which is basically company which deals with the wood waste. They make paper, they make pellets from the wood. It doesn't matter what they do, but they recycle 100% of the wood. So that's Snappy Rubbish Removal, 203 tons for 1 year wood disposed with these guys. If we don't separate the rubbish, we wouldn't be able to have a certificate of achievement because they don't accept nothing else than wood. You have to have pure wood in your metal cage to go there and to be accepted. And when you do that, they provide far better price than if we have mixed rubbish in the cage. Imagine if we have one cage with rubbish, if we have mixed rubbish, it's going to be probably 6 times more expensive than if you get it separated and go with a wood, with a paper, with a metal, at the separate places to dispose it. Makes sense.
And I think what's also very important to know is that they recycle that as well. So a lot of people think, oh, it just goes to landfill. But in your case, you actually really care about most of the rubbish that you collect being recycled or being
very
reused.
Small amount goes to the landfill, like food, for example. That's even the food doesn't go directly to the landfill because they use it to make energy and
I think it's a certain type of gas, isn't it?
Gas, yes.
Yeah.
They do it.
Yeah.
There's so many up-to-date technologies,
Exactly.
amazing technologies which help to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think especially in London, you know, I can see that London is investing a lot in improving that. We recently had a...
We don't have any other choice. It's
yeah,
a big city.
Exactly.
It's
yeah,
a big
yeah.
city.
It's definitely.
One of the biggest in Europe. It's just...
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's why it's important to have businesses like yours in a city like London, because you know, you help people to really make sure that their waste is not just, doesn't just go to landfill, but it actually is really recycled properly. It is reused again. It is, you know, it is purposeful. It's not just, we're just dumping your waste somewhere. No, you actually really care. And I think that's another thing, you know, we want people to understand about waste removal is that, yes, you pay a price for having it collected, but that price gives back to the community, because it means that your rubbish is not going to pollute our community, and it's going to be reused as Stan just explained. So, you know, it's turned into paper, it's turned into different things that will help the community again. So you are investing basically in keeping our city clean and healthy, and our environment as well.
Imagine if everybody does it in the proper way. So many problems will be gone.
Exactly.
Will be gone. So many problems. Even the ones you don't think about that they're related with the rubbish removal. So many problems will be gone that, like, snap of your fingers. If everybody thinks this way, how to do not every rubbish removal, everything in the proper way.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen yesterday, 2 days ago, I've seen one guy how he's throwing a piece of paper from the window of the car he was driving. It's so ugly, so ugly.
I know.
It's just driving and opens the window, throw away the paper, and that's it.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people who visit London, you know, people from other countries, you must know this as well. So you're from Bulgaria, I'm from Germany. It's very clean where we come from. And then when you come to London, there's so much rubbish everywhere. And it's so sad because so many people come to London.
Absolutely.
And we, you know, for us Londoners, it would be so nice to say we live in a clean, nice city.
Who prefers to see the rubbish around
exactly.
them?
It's not a good look. And
it's not a good look.
No, it's not at all. And I really hope that, you know, London will change in the future to become cleaner. And
well, let's cross fingers the rubbish never stops, because we have to do something. You know?
No, I mean, rubbish will always be there, of course, but I think the way we you know, we handle it, we manage it, that's the core, isn't it? It's like, how do we deal with the rubbish that we're producing, because that's the biggest problem at the moment. And I think with companies like yours, you know, you are the ones that contribute to helping make that better and more effective.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I do think that's the case. And, you know, it shows that businesses that work with you, that they care as well. And, you know, they wouldn't call you and ask you to clear their rubbish if they didn't care as well. So it's all about the mindset, isn't it? That we all care and that we all want to get the best outcome of the rubbish removal. So, lastly, I think what I want to ask you as the last question is, what are your future plans for Snappy Rubbish Removal? And, you know, looking at what we've discussed today, also from your personal perspective as one of the founders, what do you see, where is Snappy Rubbish Removals going in the future? In London, or maybe also outside of London?
We haven't thought, to be honest, going outside London. It's difficult to organize everything there. Right. You have to have people, and you have to have office and vans, and you have to be somehow to be there to control the things. Sure. It's difficult, really. Yeah. But we are willing to expand our services. Definitely.
So at the moment you cover Greater London.
We cover Greater London. Yeah. Sometimes we go a little bit outside London. Okay. It's all about diesel expenses, the travel expenses there. The rubbish is the same. When we take it, we provide a price when we get there. If the price is accepted, we take the rubbish. The rubbish doesn't go bigger or smaller if it's outside London. Yeah. The only thing is traveling to there. Even the time consuming. The time is not a factor, because I'm willing to send a van outside London. It's just about the quote, including the travel expenses. But yes, we cover Greater London, everything inside M25, and sometimes we go outside London as well. Yes, and yeah, we cover. We work 7 days a week. We don't stop. We work on bank holidays because always. We have people willing to earn extra,
yeah, sure.
and that helps the customer who have rubbish accidentally.
Yeah.
Many people cause on Saturday or Sunday, I'm having a party, can you come as quick as possible?
Yeah.
I just decided to clear all the rubbish so we can have the proper party here.
Sure.
And
yeah, that's great. So where do you see Snappy Rubbish Removals going in the future? Do you think the business will change? Are you planning on growing it more, or what's
yeah, more vans, more customers, better advertising, and doing what we're doing now, but with a bigger scale.
Yeah, on a bigger scale.
Bigger scale.
Yeah. So I think that's definitely doable because you already have the experience starting with one van and now covering all of Greater London. So that can only help.
We have some ideas about establishing a recycle center ourselves, but that's another thing. It's costs more money, and it takes time to get a clear idea how to do it in the proper way.
Yeah, sure. But it shows your commitment to.
This is what we are. We're connected with this business. I'm not planning to do any other businesses apart from rubbish removal because it's quite a good job and
important.
Important, as well.
As we said, it's very important because London should be clean and it should be a healthy place for people to live, and we all contribute to that by removing the rubbish in the right way, in the professional way, as the guidelines by the government are laid out, and hopefully we can encourage more people to do that in the future. And I think that's probably part of your mission as well, isn't it?
Let them have a rubbish, but not do fly tipping or throwing the rubbish from the window of the car.
Absolutely.
Let them have the rubbish so we can have something to do, but not fly tipping.
Yeah, exactly. The rubbish in the right place.
The rubbish in the right place.
All right, great. Thank you so much for speaking to us today.
Pleasure.
And hopefully this will inspire you if maybe you are looking to start a business in this industry, or maybe you are someone who is interested in learning more about the environmental part of waste removal as well. I'm sure that we can give people more information as well. So I'm looking forward to hearing maybe some comments from you if you are interested in this topic. We can always ask Stan more questions if you have any specific questions about what he does. But I think great insights from you, and thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me once again. Thank you.
Thank you.